Okay, yeah. So I'm Alexander Global. I'm the founder and matchmaker of matchmaking agency My Colombian Wife. I'm here today with Theodore Smith from the company Power Mindset Coaching. Thank you very much, Theodore, for appearing here, being here. And could you please tell us about your life in the United States and your experience dating in the United States?
Yeah, certainly. So I'm the lead coach and founder of the company Power Mind State Coaching. And what we do is we more or less help good men through immersive coaching get over their fears, phobias, and build self-confidence when trying to form romantic partnerships with women. And so I my entire life in the United States, I'm a short man. I'm a 5'4", 164 centimeters, and because American women are so heightist, I was never given a fair chance by literally any American woman for my first 20 some odd years of adulthood. And so while I was in a long-term relationship, it was with a foreigner. And so when that ended, I was right back in the same problem. And for several years, about 3 years, I went through this dating cycle right when online dating started taking off in 2012 through 2015. And my experiences were very similar to what many men go through in the women just would never give me a fair chance on that. You can forget dating profiles because they'll just simply ignore anyone who's under 5'7" universally. And if I fibbed and said, maybe I'm 5'8", then that would always be terrible. I had several more, about half a dozen first encounters with women via dating websites where they would just be outright cruel, storm off after first seeing me, eat but not speak, and expect me to pay a whole lot of those things. And so I became extremely demoralized by the time I was in my mid 30s, having never successfully dated a woman who was born in America more than 3 times. And here I was making $100,000 a year, no debts, owned my own house, my own car, very successful by societal norms, and I couldn't find a single relationship. I just couldn't find a single one, and so that's actually how I got introduced to Alexander back in 2015.
Uh, okay, so can you please tell about your experience with coming to Colombia?
So when I thought about Colombia before I actually came here, I literally had this vision of tropical rainforests, but
Mhm.
like tons of humidity, thousands of mosquitoes, and like guerrilla terrorists like in the forest with machetes and guns.
Mhm. Yeah,
I actually
right.
had no desire to go to Colombia until I saw the advertisement of mycolombianwife.com, and I went, well, let's give this a shot. And so my first day, my first hour in Colombia, I realized, this is totally different than my preconceptions, and it just became a really awesome place, and I ended up making a life here. Actually, I liked it so much. I quit my job in a couple months and formed a company in Colombia and lived here for about 2 years after that, full time.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. Your story is so inspiring. I think for a lot of people, it will be very inspiring, yeah, to hear you, and also to what motivated you actually, yeah, to stay in Colombia. And this is very inspiring, your story. How was your experience with Colombian women? How are they different from the American women?
So I was absolutely shocked by how courteous and feminine the women in Colombia were. I mean, are.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
I would say that I've dated at this point at least 40 Colombian women, and I've never once encountered a rude Colombian woman. I've never once encountered that valley girl attitude. It's just a completely different culture when it comes to dating and
Yes.
relationships than anything I had
Hmm.
experienced in America.
So, how long have you lived in Colombia?
So I live in Colombia. I live specifically in Bogota, Colombia, about 3 months every single year, sometimes 6 months. So on and off over the last 12 years, I've lived here a good 5 years.
Did you enjoy living in Colombia?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy, especially Bogota. Bogota, Medellin, the temperatures are always great. Well, most of the time, like in Colombia and Bogota, it's a consistent 65, 68 degrees, very low humidity. You can just go outside almost every day. On top of that, it's extremely affordable. Like I have a total cost of living in 2025 of just about $1,000 in North Bogota, including my rent. Like life is just a different flow here, and that's why I enjoy it so much.
So, from your perception, your experience, what can you say about the Colombian women? Are they more open to connect mentally, emotionally? Are they more open in general?
So the primary difference between, I would say, 90% of the Colombian women I personally know have
Mhm.
never heard of Tinder, or at least they hadn't heard of it as of 2022. And I mean, they don't do online dating so much, and they're very much more family focused. They tend to live with their families much longer than American women, and they tend to be more centered on trying to find a man who's going to be a good provider, and stuff like that. They seem to have their intentions more in line with what's good for raising a family than like something opposed to like height or a physical appearance or age. Even wealth seems to be distant to that wanting to form a, a strong family bond.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I have perceived the same. Yeah, that the inner beauty actually is what really matters to these Colombian women. Yeah, so they are really looking for someone who is respectful, caring, sincere, loyal, someone that they can trust, open up, and live with together. Okay, mm, can you please tell us about your service, your company, what you're doing?
Sure. So as I mentioned, for the first 20 years of my adult life, I've had an extremely terrible time getting a single date with American women. I was basically what you could call an incel because, I wanted a relationship, I just never could establish them. And then one day, this guy told me that not all women are the same as all the hundreds you've had experiences with in the United States. And so I decided, especially when I saw this ad for my Colombian wife, I decided to give it a go. And let me tell you, from the very first day in Colombia, I realized that that was 100% true. And I'll give you one concrete example. As a 5'4" man, I never knew how much heightism I experienced on a daily basis in the United States and Western Europe until my very first hour in Bogota, Colombia, where the average height is much lower. It's about 5'8", 5'9", and there are tons of men that are 5'4" or even under. You can see them every day here. Where
Hmm.
in the United States, the women rarely see guys that size, and so
Yeah.
that's the primary difference, is that there's absolutely no heightism in Colombia.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct what you're saying. Yeah, in Colombia, there are a lot of men that you can see with that height, 5'4", 5'5", 5'6". From my experience, from the clients I have worked with, I have also worked with clients in your height, around your height, and they were accepted, and they could actually connect then with the women, especially after going through the coaching. Can you
That's
please tell a little bit more about the coaching, the transformation? I think this is very meaningful what you're doing. Yeah, because you have been in the shoes of a single man for a long period of your life, and then you have had a super experience with Colombian women, so you understand the steps that are necessary for the transformation.
Yeah, so I've been in two long-term relationships with the Colombian women since I first came here in 2014,
Okay.
and after several years of being in like a family and being more or less normal, I decided that I wanted to help other men overcome their fears and phobias. And so many of us men have been negatively treated by women, like literally our entire lives. And these gurus, these self-help, these relationship coaches, they always say, "Love yourself." Well, sometimes we have to have people to love us first before we can love ourselves. And then they also say you have to be confident. But when you've been mistreated by every single ugly girl you've ever been with, how are you supposed to have confidence with the beautiful women? And so I decided to develop this immersive coaching system where we start with learning about your past traumas, and we develop a customized course designed to eventually you'll come to Colombia. We have these beautiful women that will sit, have actual like fake dates with you, and it helps you get acclimated to actually going on real dates with beautiful, caring women. And so after a week of our course, it really helps people overcome their fears. So then you can return to America, you can date other Colombians, whatever, but you have that newfound self-confidence through actual like 10 dates in a week. So it can be life-changing to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I think this is very meaningful what you're doing with the coaching, and also the success that you have with your clients, yeah, that you have helped, and how confident, how inspired, how empowered they feel after your coaching program. Yeah, so I find it very meaningful what you're doing. So how can interested guys get in contact with you, get in touch with you?
So go to the website, powermindstate.energy, and then there's a free consultation button. Just schedule a free consultation and we'll start from there.
Okay. And if you are interested to find out more how our matchmaking service works, and how you could benefit from our matchmaking service, you could click at the link in the description below. You can fill out a form, and then you can book a free consultation. So I recommend you guys first to contact Theodore Smith. You can go through the transformation, the coaching, and you can also be successful then and feel absolutely empowered and confident. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Theodore.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
I'm Alexander Global, founder and matchmaker of matchmaking agency My Colombian Wife. And if you are interested to find out how exactly our service works, why we have a very high and realistic chance to find the right partner for you in Colombia, then please click at the description below, fill out the form, and we will get in contact with you so we can schedule a free consultation with me. I can get to know your criteria, expectations, individual situation, to estimate the chances if you are able to find you the right partner in Colombia. The right partner to have a meaningful, healthy, long-lasting relationship with the goal of having a successful marriage. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Looking forward to get to know you.